After a needed 10-day respite, the Indy 11 are back in action for the first time in the month of June, trying to make this month a bit better than the previous month of May. Atlanta United to their opponent for the first time this evening. Alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thank you so much for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on both My Indy TV as well as on ESPN+. Last time we were here, Brad, it was filled with drama. Just not the full 3 points. A 3-3 draw with each team scoring in stoppage time.
An emotional roller coaster, too, because I think if for the 11, if you would have had a draw 10 minutes earlier, would have felt like a win. Instead, the way it unfolds, you lose 10 points, it feels like a loss. You lose 2 points, it feels like a loss.
Atlanta United, too, comes in, a team that has struggled defensively all season, but their best defensive performance came last week against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Let's focus on one of their key defenders and their goalkeeper. Let's start with A.J. Cochran making his 9th appearance of the season for AU2 tonight. He made the USL's Team of the Week.
Yeah, fantastic effort by AJ, and one of the things that's really difficult to do is to find a rhythm when the pieces keep changing, and both Christensen and Cochran mentioned the exact same thing.
And once you're a second-sided team, you're going to maybe play some different pieces. 4 different keepers have played for AU2 so far this year. Christensen gets his 5th start of the year tonight.
And that clean sheet is so important. They talk about the rhythm that they have with the back line. They're running as much of it as they can out here. Crane got a red card, so he's not going to be in the lineup tonight.
If you want to start things off for the Indy 11, you've got to find a way to prevent them from getting to the spot. Ioze is 3 for 3 on the year, and as we learned a little bit further back last week, he can be lethal as well.
Oh my God, it was amazing. You know, the way Suni Saad has been hitting the ball, they use him as a decoy. Ioze comes in and just buries a world-class finish.
Ioze and Suni each with 4 goals apiece. That leads the Indy 11. They'll have to step it up even more tonight. No Jack McInerney. He is out now for the next 2 matches. Starting lineups, opening kickoff come your way. Next is from Lucas Oil Stadium. You're watching Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV and ESPN+. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health, exceptional care simply delivered. Community Health Network. By Honda, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. By Turkish Airlines, widen your world. And by The Room Place, get it all at The Room Place. Teams are ready. Time for a quick look at our starting lineups presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana. There are a couple of returning names and faces from injuries or red cards for the Indy 11. Matt Watson is back in the lineup. Kevin Venegas is back in the lineup. Nico Mattern had to sit last time because of a red card, and Seth Moses and Juan Guerra give this team, Brad, a different look on the outside flanks.
I'm thrilled to see Matt Watson back. Prior to his injury, he was pulling the trigger from 30, 35 yards out, and that forces a defensive line to step closer to the ball, and that's going to open up some channels in behind for Justin and Suni.
For Atlanta United, too, again, when you're a second-sided team, you see some different pieces that get an opportunity on a regular basis. The guy to focus on is John Gallagher. He is both from Ireland and played for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. He leads them in scoring with 5 goals this year.
That's almost the Triple Crown, right? You got 2 Irish pieces in there.
Well, the Triple Crown just happened at the Belmont, so we'll have to settle for, I guess, the Double Crown in this one for the wee Irish lad twice removed in John Gallagher. Justin Braun stands over this one, and Indy 11 soccer is underway here on My Indy TV and ESPN+. The Indy 11 last got the full 3 points against Louisville City FC some 5 weeks ago, May 5th. They would pick up points in draws against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds on May the 11th. And here to the Charleston Battery on May 30th. As much of a tough month of May as it felt like for the Indy 11, it is still early in the season. As of tonight, including this match, there are 23 matches left to go in this campaign for the Indy 11. For Atlanta United, too, they have won just twice this season. A 5-4 goal fest against Toronto FC 2 back on May the 16th. Other than that, their only win, their opening match of the season against the New York Red Bulls, too. This is Carranza for Atlanta United, too.
It's a solid tackle.
Mattern. He has been a difference maker defensively for this team. Moses could not keep that ball in the field of play. Throw in coming for Atlanta United, too. Time now for our keys to this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
For Indy, they got to chase the first one. I think both for their confidence and to find a rhythm in the game, it's important to get that. But when you take a look at AU2, the couple things that they've struggled with, they've not won on turf, they've not won on the road, and they've not won in the 8 matches where they've conceded first. So that first goal is going to be critical for the 11. The other part is stay clicked in. Been some uncharacteristic goals lately, but it's not just happened in the back there. There's been some opportunities and some miscues in the box. So stay clicked in, stay focused. For Atlanta, it's consistency. They have played 29 players so far this season, and the average age of those players is 21 and a half years old. So one of the tough things with young players is to find consistency. They need to find that tonight. And then the other is decision making. I was talking to Coach Donnelly. He said it perfectly. He said, my job in this developmental team is to get 19-year-olds to play like 26-year-olds. And that's what he's got to have them do tonight.
There are several young players in the lineup. Chris Goslin, 18 years of age. Laurent Kissadou, 19. Joseph Samuel, Jose Hernandez. Seemingly old men in comparison. They're 20. So 4 players 20 or younger in the lineup. The Atlanta United 2 this evening. This is the third of the second sides, so to speak, that the Indy 11 have played over the course of the last month. Bethlehem Steel, which is the secondary squad of the Philadelphia Union on May 19th. New York Red Bulls 2 on May 27th. They'll complete the group in the Eastern Conference when they play Toronto FC 2. And that match is next Saturday. That'll be played in Rochester, New York. The old home of the Rochester Rhinos, and hopefully once again the home of the Rochester Rhinos at some point down the road. Time now for our injury report, brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And that list is getting significantly smaller. Pasher and Ferreira, those are significant absences for the Indy 11, but Matt Watson's back out there. Eugene Starikoff is in the 18. Kevin Venegas is on the field tonight, so that group is getting smaller. The other different faces or substitutions in the lineup really is just Martin Rennie trying to see something different.
And it's really their first full week of practice in almost a month, so trying to find that training rhythm. And you never know. Seth might have had a great week. Maybe it's to take a look at what he brings to the lineup. Maybe there's something that he saw through this week that says, hey, he's a guy that can help us tonight.
Scott Donnelly, the head coach of Atlanta United 2. What a phenomenon their parent club have turned into. Braun was offside as the flag goes up. By the way, our 3-person, make it our 4-person officiating crew for tonight's game. Michael Radchuk is our lead referee. The assistants, Adrian McDonald and Jeffrey Swartzel. Ramazan Altoon is our 4th official tonight. Brickyard Battalion in mid-match form already. Good step by Carlisle Mitchell. Matt Watson will move the ball further down the field as the ball is played back from the 2 players that we highlighted in the pregame show from Atlanta. Cochran plays it back to keeper Paul Christensen. This is his 5th match of the season. Does not have a win under his belt yet, 0-2-2. But again, had the clean sheet against Tampa Bay last week in a 0-0 draw.
That's so important, you know, for his confidence as a young keeper and for the back line's confidence to, after that clean sheet, to have the chance to replicate it again.
This is the final match of a 4-match road streak for Atlanta United 2. They have not been at home since May the 16th. They will play midweek against Charlotte on Wednesday and play again at home against Ottawa on Saturday. So a busy week for Atlanta United. Ouimet able to knock that ball off of an Atlanta United player. Throw in coming for Indy.
That whole possession from Atlanta started off of a little flick from Goslin in the middle of the field. Kid's 18 years old. That takes an IQ in the 30s of age, not actual IQ number, to be able to make a play like that. That is impressive.
Goslin is on an Atlanta United contract, so again, much like we discussed at length when Indy played Bethlehem here a couple of weeks ago. We'll finish that thought. Opportunity here. Braun couldn't get the legs going forward, thought he was fouled. Official says no. Now a long ball on the counter, collected by Owain Von Williams. So again, there are players that are signed to Atlanta United 2 contracts. A handful of players, and there's a handful of players that are part of their academy, as we show you Owain Von Williams in goal for the Indy 11. But several of the players you'll see tonight are actually under contract for Atlanta United, and because of the level of talent they have with the big club, so to speak, this is their chance to get regular minutes playing for their USL side. This is Joseph Samuel from Ethiopia. Plays the ball forward for Carranza. Seth Moses will blast it back to midfield. Seth, a native of Baltimore, Maryland, has played in numerous countries around the globe. Last year, we'll play with Puerto Rico. Good ball here. Better job by Ouimet. And before the broadcast tonight, Brad, you were singing Ouimet's praises as potentially the most impressive player from the Indy 11 so far this season.
Well, you take a look at that ball. The back line was high. There was a channel of space to drop the ball in, and it was hit perfectly. And you look at the pace. I think it was Gallagher that was chasing it down. Ouimet in the open field. He's got good pace, but I'm not sure he's able to meet him stride for stride. Instead, he just cuts the lane off, gets in front of him, slows him down, and allows Owain to win the ball.
Watson with the touch, well read by Atlanta United 2. Atlanta has not played in 7 days. The Indy 11 have not played in 10. This is a month where Indy plays just 4 times. Their next home match is not for 3 weeks. Now, July gets busy. August is very busy for the Indy 11, but just a quirk in the schedule. This is, you hope, from how they play and the space between matches for Martin Rennie's team. Flanked by Phil DeSantos to his left. This is, you hope, a get-well month for this team.
Well, you like the fact that you've got prep time, not just, you know, to get guys healed up and to get guys healthy week to week, but to work on some things, to get some repetitions. You know, Coach Rennie talked this week about how much it's important that they take some of the things that they're working on in practice and start applying them in a game. Well, when you've got 1 to 2 hard practices a week and that's it, and then you're going game to game, it becomes really difficult to translate those things. Now you got 5 days prep time to work on it, a little bit more time for film. It makes it easier to translate into game.
It's been a very whistle-free match so far, some 9 minutes in. As the crowd continues to pour in here to Lucas Oil Stadium. 7th of 17 home matches this year for the Indy 11. But not back here again for 3 weeks. Lamette couldn't slide that ball to Jose, but Jose appreciated the effort with the thumbs up given to his running mate along the back line for most of this season. Good pressure by Joseph Samuel, but could not keep it in the field of play. Jose told to back it up just a bit. Jose, one of 3 former members of the New York Cosmos on this Indy 11 roster. 2 of them on the field as we speak, he and Juan Guerra. We could easily see a 3rd as a sub tonight. Eugene Starikoff has not played since the end of March. There was some talk he might start tonight. Would not be surprised if we see him as a sub, especially knowing there is no Jack McInerney in tonight's game or in next Saturday's game against TFC2.
And not just for the McInerney absence, but it's so difficult to replicate game fitness in training. I mean, you can get close to it, but to be match fit requires some match minutes. So to get him rounded back into form, it's important to give him 10 to 15 minutes here at the end of the match if you haven't need to call on him sooner.
It's almost an errant pass, but Hernandez was the target, not Carranza. In a smaller dimension field playing here in the great indoors. 110 yards by 70. Here's a look. If this were football, that'd be the all-22 camera. The end zone shot, if you will, from the south end of Lucas Oil Stadium. Possession so far in favor of Atlanta United 2, but nothing that would amount to a threatening moment as of yet. This portion of the match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, keeping athletes at the top of their game. Visit ecommunity.com/sports.
That was pretty similar to their match against Tampa Bay. I think they held the better of the play for over 60% of the match, and just were not able to wind up putting one in the back of the net. And they talk about it. Their job is to prepare these guys for the MLS and the next level. And so, while they are competitive and they want to focus on the wins, it is about playing correctly.
Gallagher whistled for the foul. I think it might be the first foul we've had called so far this evening's match. Gallagher played for the recently retired Bobby Clark at the University of Notre Dame. What a tremendous career he had, including a national championship.
Absolutely. Did some great things in the state. And then you look at Gallagher, he's come in and he's lit it up recently. 5 goals here, and a guy that is really starting to play in an incredible dynamic because they've used him in a variety of different attacking spots.
Gallagher, 5 of the 14 goals scored by Atlanta United 2 this year. No other player has more than 2. Throw-in coming for Indy. Jose has played every minute since making his season debut in a 1-0 victory against North Carolina FC back on April the 7th.
And he just brings a different dimension to the game. He gets forward so well. He serves so well. He drives that ball across the field so well.
Seth Moses able to knock it forward to Jose. Braun has a run going. Jose spots him. Shielded away by Cochran for Atlanta United 2.
And you talk about the sync and the rhythm, and you look at Christensen and Cochran, who got the clean, factored into that clean sheet last week. That ball was served in perfectly, and as Cochran was coming around, he took a look at Christensen to see, are you going to be able to get it? They just needed to look at each other to say, no, I'm going to clear it.
Braun's looking for his first goal this season after scoring 8 in very limited opportunities last year. Lost his second half of the season due to an ankle injury. Has been primarily used as a substitution this season, but again, because of the red card for yellow accumulation, plus an additional game tacked on to it for what drew the last yellow for McInerney, we'll see a lot more of Braun the next 2 weeks, especially as Eugene Starikoff kind of works his way back into match fitness. Long distance ball, Samuel the target. Carlisle Mitchell got there first. Here is Nico Mattern, the rookie out of Indiana Wesleyan by way of Germany. Guerra and Moses weren't on the same page. Here you see Juan Guerra, Venezuelan, that played his collegiate soccer at Florida International. Seth Moses, the Baltimore, Maryland native who spent last year with Puerto Rico FC. These guys, two of my favorite conversations so far this year on Soccer Saturday on 107.5 FM and 1070 The Fan. Watson knocked to the turf, and there's a foul.
A great touch by Guerra. Just to lift it over the pressing defender right into the space of Watson.
Certainly wasn't card worthy, but definitely a foul. And nice sporting gesture by Andrew Kendall Moulin. Realized he got there late. No issues there. Matt Watson back to wearing the captain's armband tonight. He and Brad Ring have alternated wearing that. They rarely been on the field together so far this year. Watson, the native of England. Quick restart, official having none of it. SUNY Saad liked it.
Yeah.
Clearly Ioze in favor of it as well. We mentioned the fact that Moses is from Baltimore, Maryland. Matt Watson played his collegiate soccer for 1 year at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The 50 minutes of fame continues for the Retrievers. The only men's 16 seed to win a game in the NCAA tournament. There's Ioze. Sends his ball in, looking for Ouimet, got a head to it.
Nicely done.
Up and over the bar, but the flag was up anyway, even if he had put it on frame.
I actually think that ball in behind the line to SUNY Saad was on again in that situation as well.
So would not have counted had it had gone. Ouimet looking for his first Indy 11 goal. And the Indy 11 restarted somewhat quickly on, twice there, and anything within 40 yards, you almost kind of wonder why was that not SUNY Saad's opportunity to go for goal. Because seemingly 35 yards-ish is his range at this point, as evidenced by his latest SportsCenter top 10 goal 10 days ago against the Charleston Battery.
It's a good switch. Indy does well to shift over and jam the space up.
Ball was switched up to Jack Metcalf. He is the only Atlanta United 2 player that has played in every match and has played in every minute so far this year. Well, we referenced Soccer Saturday. We also referenced SUNY Saad. Let's combine the two together. SUNY was a guest on this week's program talking about how in the world he puts as much movement on that ball as he does on a seemingly regular basis. You can listen to the interview if you missed it this morning by going to the website at 1070thefan.com. Next week on the show, Bruce Arena will be joining the program. Had a chance to read his new book this week. You can tell it's World Cup season if for nothing else than Grant Wall has a book, the Men in Blazers have a book, and Bruce Arena now has a book. I managed to read all three in the course of the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Now you were valedictorian there. That's actually a slow pace for you.
Yeah, but Bruce's book had no pictures in it, so it makes it a little more literary. Brickyard Battalion providing the beat to tonight's game.
Oh.
Good flick here. Wow. Hernandez with a couple of options. Plays it across. Ouimet got there first. Venegas, Matern, and Mitchell combined to pick up about 50 yards of real estate. Good read by Atlanta United 2. Great recovery by Carl Ouimet.
Yeah, I tell you, Samuel, I mean, you look at that, and one of the conversations I was having with Coach Donnelly is how, 1v1, these guys can do anything. Talented, technical, they get it. It's now trying to blend all this and getting them all to work together.
Well, let's face it, when you're so young, you are used to being the best player in your age group, the best player in your high school team, your academy team, maybe your college team. You're used to winning all those one-on-one matchups, so that's not surprising to hear. Ioze for SUNY Saad. Ball finds Braun, right idea, couldn't slide it through. Little contact, we play on. Saad. Gives it a go.
Oh. Is there a hole in that? That looked like it went.
Impressive nonetheless. Needed that one to straighten out.
Hey, the thing is, when he's inside, 30, 35 yards, you just can't give him the opportunity to pull the trigger.
Venegas will shepherd that ball across the sideline. SUNY does have 2 goals in the run of play, if you will, this year. Had one against Nashville SC on April the 14th, the other. The lone goal for the Indy 11 and a loss at the Red Bulls 2 back on May 27th. Iose. Outstanding run going. He'll stay on the attack. Saad the cross. Corner coming for the Indy 11.
Interesting thing that Josef Samuel was doing on that last throw in that Indy 11 got. It was in the defensive half. He made the motion for all of Atlanta to step forward and to close off some more space. So you wonder if the tape from the Bethlehem game and the New York game has gone, to a lot of these MLS2 teams to say, look, press them, use your speed, use your youth, and press them all game, and the opportunity is going to be there.
Kevin Venegas will take the corner. Watson gives it a go. Doesn't get through. Too many bodies to clear for Atlanta United 2. Mattern sends it in. Too much on it. Flags up. Could not stay in play for Venegas. By the way, this segment of the match is presented by the Room Place. Get it all at the Room Place. You see Chris Goslin, the 18-year-old homegrown product from Locust Grove, Georgia.
What a touch.
Opportunity here. Some space for Saad. Leaves it for Braun. Braun back to Saad. Saad was onside. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. Fans voting is now open for the USL's monthly awards for May. Cast your vote for Player of the Month, Goal of the Month, and Save of the Month this weekend. Logging on to USLsoccer.com. Venegas on the cross. And Saad would like to have that one back.
It's a great serve by Venegas. He was running out of real estate there. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to catch up to that ball. And with hips not turned, is able to drive that ball right into the penalty strike.
I'm not sure Venegas has been fully healthy all year. He missed the first month with a leg injury. We've seen him in kind of fits and starts. He did not play in the last match 10 days ago against Charleston Battery, so he's been off for 2 weeks. We might see the best of Kevin Venegas this year tonight. Venegas spent each of the last 6 years at Minnesota United, including their inaugural MLS campaign a year ago. Frequently a member of the best 11 in the North American Soccer League. Watson, Moses, knocked out of bounds by Hernandez. Hernandez, a native of Venezuela. And he too on an Atlanta United contract. Matt Watson whistled for the foul. And a rough landing for Jose Carranza. It's Michael Radchuk, our match referee, talking to the Indy 11 captain. The oldest member of the Indy 11 roster in Matt Watson. This is his 14th professional season, all taking place in North America. Spent last year in Arizona. Opportunity here. Watson with options. Leaves it for Guerra. Juan Guerra gives it a go, but directs it directly to Christensen in goal. Guerra looking for his first Indy 11 goal.
It's a good counter. I like the fact that they took it quickly. I think good touch and a good shot, but it looked like that ball delivered from Watson was just a little bit deep for for Guerra that he had to reach back a little bit, got caught under him, probably couldn't place it exactly where he wanted it.
Braun on side, sends it in. Saad the target.
It's opening up a bit more for Indy right now.
Well, possession, not threatening possession, but the first 10 minutes belong to Atlanta United 2. Everything else, since that time, it's been Indy 11 on the front foot. Watson flicked it forward. Bit of a giveaway there by Indy. These two teams played just twice this year. The next time they play will be in August on a Saturday night in Atlanta. August 25th.
Should be nice and toasty there.
Stumble by Hernandez. And then a foul called against Carranza. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com today. Venegas told to back up just a bit. Not sure this is in Sunni-san rage. Close.
Hey, don't bet against him. Don't bet against him. Just touch it and let him hit it. Let's see.
Venegas sends it in. Ouimet will track it down. Here is Sunni. Tried to find Mitchell. Now Watson with one touch. Venegas will settle for Indy. Good flick by Matt Watson. Moses and Watson combining. Seth Moses couldn't maintain possession. So Moses has had just a few opportunities this year. Hasn't been Nathan Lewis's best work the last couple of times he's been on the field for the Indy 11. Zach Steinberger went to the bench tonight as well. For both Juan Guerra as well as Seth Moses, this was kind of a reward for the work they had put in training over the last week. Guerra is a player we know very well from his days in the North American Soccer League. Sliding effort by Mitchell. If nothing else, just slowed up the pace of the play, but he is hurt. And he is a guy that has dealt with his fair share of injuries this year. Now the training staff will have to come on and look at him, so Brian Gerlach will get his requisite amount of camera time that he has had through the course of the season. That could be a wide variety of things for Carlisle.
Yeah, I think his head went right back into Samuel's leg.
Yep, that's it right there. Got it. Good read. So he has had to leave some matches early this year, has Mitchell. Brad Russin would be his backup tonight, the veteran center back from Crown Point, Indiana. Let's hope that Carlisle is okay, but temporarily at least. The Indy 11 will play a man down. Those other players available off the bench tonight for Indy: Jordan Farr as the backup goalkeeper, Brad Ring, Brad Russin, Ben Spee, Zach Steinberger, Eugene Starikoff, and Nathan Lewis. And there you see those aforementioned gentlemen pretty in pink on the sidelines for the Indy 11 tonight.
Classic, classic.
Brad and I wear similar bibs during the broadcast just to be safe. You just don't see it on camera. And Mitchell has already been waved back onto the field of play for Indy.
Hey, talk about consistency. You look at a ball like that from Goslin, and early in this match, they were doing a nice job of possessing the ball, moving it across the back line, tucking it into Shannon and Goslin in the midfield, seeing if there were some openings, knocking it back to the back line. Now the passing is a little bit off. You know, some balls that are more difficult to handle. That ball from Goslin was up in the air to the back line. So when you talk about consistency with young players, this is one of the things you want to see, that, you know, the ball to the right foot with the right weight in the right moment.
Of course, the parent club in their inaugural season made the MLS playoffs. Take away by Watson. Watson streaking forward. Watson dribbles past the keeper. Watson slides it in. Matt Watson has his first Indy 11 goal. The team captain on the Atlanta United 2 giveaway stakes the Indy 11 to a 1-0 lead.
What a great finish. You thought he was going to try and toe poke it as Christensen was coming out, but had the composure, even though he's got a defender breathing down his back, has the composure to take a touch. But we literally just called the turnovers and the passing and the stuff that needs to be cleaned up with a young team and the consistency in it. It put Indy out on the break.
Goals allowed have been an issue for Atlanta United 2 this year. That is the 26th they have allowed in this, their 13th match of the season. When your average is in the vicinity of 2, that's not good. A good thing for the home side. Matt Watson cashes in his first Indy 11 goal. And Indy has a 1-0 lead in minute 31.
I think he was thinking about turning it back the other way and knocking it across to Braun, but the way that the defender pressured him, he said, oh, it's open, I'll just go.
And had the presence of mind to then dribble around the keeper. And when you're the old guy on the field, you don't get rattled by stuff like that. Gallagher gives chase. The nudge by Iose to throw him off stride. And a throw-in coming for Atlanta United 2. By the way, this portion of the match presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Wow. Moses will give the corner. First corner of the match for Atlanta United 2.
Oh, hey, you gotta pick up in the box a little bit better.
Hawaiian Fawn Williams really hasn't had to do all that much so far.
And he recognized that they were not in good position and called his backs tucked in, get it marked up. And that's one of those things we talked about pregame, is staying clicked in. Is, here's a critical moment. You just scored a goal. You can't relax. You can't disconnect and miss a mark in the 6, especially when it's their lone striker.
Especially given how you switched off defensively when you took a 3-2 lead in the 93rd minute 10 days ago.
There's not a guy in blue that forgot about that. So it's weird that you see that 30 minutes into the match.
Watson, nifty turn. Trying to dial up Justin Braun.
I'll tell you, that is one of the luxuries that Braun brings back. You start looking at the tools you have in your toolbox, the pace and the energy that he plays, and you take a look at how high the Atlanta back line is at times in transition. There is going to be that ball. If you can find the right one to drop in behind the back line, that Braun can just go and get.
Indy 11 led 1-0, and then led 3-2 in their last matchup with the Charleston Battery. The type of plays that Fawn Williams wants to make, right within 30 yards of him.
And you look at the psychology of the game right now, especially with a young team and a veteran team playing against each other. And Atlanta has not won on the road. They have not won on turf. And they have not won when they've conceded first. So all of those psychological things should be in both of these teams' heads. And you're hoping that it gives the 11 confidence, and for Atlanta, Coach Donnelly is hoping, hey, we got to be able to break some of these things at some point.
Coach Donnelly having a conversation with our 4th official. Might have been that meeting of the minds between Samuel and Mitchell just a few seconds ago. Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50.
I like the way Carranza plays. I mean, he uses his body well. He's quick, he's pacey, he's creative, not afraid to mix it up.
Carranza just 19 years of age, a Virginia native. Spent time last year with North Carolina FC. Venegas, good pressure applied by Gosselin. Able to avoid Venegas. The ball bounces the way of the Indy 11 as Guerra tracks it down. Braun flags up, was just a step or two offside. Was a native of Salt Lake City, Utah.
I think on that he thought Iose was going to hit it first time, and he'd get a little head of steam up and get into that space and beat the defender into the ball. And Iose took a prep touch, and that caused Justa to be offsides.
Mattern, who missed the last Indy 11 match because of a red card 2 weeks ago against the Red Bulls 2. Space to operate for Braun. Has Moses inside of the 18. Overlapping run behind him. Hence the back heel Iose. And the flag goes up for Iose. Iose just mistimed that by a millisecond. But again, likes the idea from Braun.
I think if you leave it right there,
right,
and you put it out there, you've got a guy who's really solid with his left foot coming in with some space. The defender won't be able to get there, and you're likely going to get a pretty good serve.
Player down for Atlanta United 2. It is their team captain in Jack Metcalf. As we talked about earlier, he is the only player that has appeared in every match. And he's appeared in every minute of every match so far for AU2, but that appeared to be a bit of a non-contact injury, and that's not good. Metcalf from Liverpool. Played in Wales last year.
He's 26 years old. That's a veteran. You can't be having you hate seeing that.
Looks like it was one of those injuries that might take a while to recover from, too.
Yeah.
Not a full complement of substitutions tonight for Atlanta United, too. They have 5 field players and a backup keeper.
And the tough part, against Tampa Bay, Crane got red carded. So, a player that they started on their back line, just a few days ago is not available to them tonight.
By the way, this portion of the match presented by Turkish Airlines. Widen your world.
I was talking to some coaches that Coach Donnelly has worked with through this week, and one of the things that they all talk about is his attention to detail, how the scouting reports that he develops are at just a different level than everybody else. He's got notes on every player. He's got pages and pages of stuff on the team. So I asked him, I said, hey, when you don't know what your lineup is going to be because you got this rotation of players, how difficult is it for you to be able to have that level of detail? He says, I just have to do it in other ways. I got to get, my detail is to get these guys prepared and to get them to play the Atlanta way so that when they do get called up to the first team, that they're ready to go. So, we're implementing the Atlanta way versus, hey, we're going to have to tweak this for this and tweak this for this because sometimes we don't know what players will have available to us.
Well, Metcalf for the first time this season will not be able to play the full distance of a match as he is heading back to the locker room. And a name and face that we are familiar with is about to enter. Sean Nicklaw will come in for Atlanta United 2. Spent a lot of years in the North American Soccer League, played with Jacksonville, played with FC Edmonton last year. So Nicklaw enters. And Metcalf's streak of minutes played comes to an end at just north of 1,100 to start the year.
And you look at guys like Nicklaw and Sandoval, guys that we know from the NASL days, and you wonder when Atlanta signs them, are they signing them here to bring some stability and some veteran leadership to a young team, or do they have some eyes for them with the first team?
Devin Sandoval, one of the players available off the bench, was part of the last champions of the North American Soccer League, the San Francisco Deltas last year, so he was teammates with Carl Wilmette and the injured Heiner Ferreira for the Indy 11. Throw-in coming for the Indy 11. Work by Venegas. And that'll be a foul on Carranza for the tug of the shoulder. This portion of the match also presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. Moses sizing up his options. Good work by Watson. Watson's been in and out of the lineup due to injury throughout the course of this campaign.
It's a good read. Mitchell sees out of just the side of his eye, sees Carranza pressing him and decides not to bring it down, just to serve it forward.
Moses whistled for the foul. Hernandez in pain on the Lucas Oil Stadium turf. That's a fair whistle.
Yeah, I thought he did well to track back for him, but he did make the contact that knocked him to the turf.
It's not a foul, but it's a foul, but not a card. No problem there.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from Moses so far. He's been dynamic going forward. He's been disciplined going backwards. He's been creative. He and Braun have been switching spots. He's moving all over the field. It could create some matchup problems.
Rowan coming here for Atlanta United 2. Good ball here. Suni Sai. Braun to his right. Ayoze streaming forward to his left. Braun. The lead for Moses. He'll play it back to acres of open space that Mattern will try to close down. Recovery by Atlanta.
Atlanta did a nice job to recover there. I think that was a situation that Indy could have done, and when looking at film, would have liked to have done better with that ball. You've got Suni about 30 yards out with a defender that's, giving him both sides of the field to attack, and Braun coming off of his right shoulder.
Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half, brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Lots of possession for Atlanta United too, but nothing that really has led to anything yet. Now Samuel trying to slide behind Venegas, and Venegas does a great job of becoming an obstruction. Draws the foul.
Like to see, if I'm Atlanta, I'd like to see Gallagher and Carranza a little bit more involved. Right now, it feels a little bit more, a little bit too much one-dimensional, just trying to keep hitting that ball over the top to Samuel.
Williams taking his dear old sweet time to restart this one. There'll be at least a couple of minutes of added time because of the goal and the injury. Last touch by Juan Guerra. Want to keep up with the best social media from around the USL? Join Kelsey Steele every Friday on the USL social media channels for the latest edition of Off the Post. Christensen would like to have that one back. Keeper, 22 years of age, played his college soccer at the University of Portland.
Good look.
Zod. Again, right to Christensen. Has had a couple of shots go right at him. You can't fault Christensen much on the Indy 11 goal on the giveaway. There's too much space for Watson to operate.
Yeah, and it did look as a goalkeeper, and I'm expecting a toe poke in that because the defender's closing Watson down. You're thinking, okay, he's just going to try and get it on frame, but oh my goodness.
Nifty by Watson. And then Moses barrels over Hernandez and draws the foul.
Matty Watson is three-dimensional tonight.
I think Matty Watson's going to be a post-game show guest at this point. I think it's safe to say that. His goal was impressive, but his possession skills have been even better so far.
To be honest, he's been all over the place. He's been in, pulling the ball off the back line. He's been pressing the front line, finding the gaps in the seams going forward. He's played touchline to touchline.
4 minutes of added time. We got a ways to go here in half number one. Gallagher with the lead for Nick Law. Good job to avoid the corner by the Indy 11. Braun surrounded by 5, we'll make it 4 white jerseys. Mitchell goes to ground, doesn't get a whistle. Opportunity here, doesn't get through. Never got to Fawn Williams. I believe Mattern got a leg in the way. Laurent Kissadou with the shot on goal. He also draws the foul on Mitchell. So now a set piece opportunity here for Atlanta United 2. This has been their most threatening moment of the match right here. Mitchell whistled for the foul. Kissadou from the Ivory Coast. He is just 19 years of age. Played last year for the Charleston Battery. Kissadou has 2 goals on the season. Gosselin standing over the ball for Atlanta United 2. The 18-year-old does not have a goal this season nor an assist. This is his 9th appearance of the season.
You're right at the edge of range.
Gosselin gives it a go and just curled it wide. Put a scare into Fawn Williams, but Owan didn't have to put a finger to it.
Nice job to get the ball up and down over the wall and give it a chance.
Another warning for time wasting being directed to Owan Fawn Williams. He has spent every minute of every match in net this season for the Indy 11. Throw-in coming for Atlanta in the final 60 seconds of the opening half. Indy 11 at 2-1-3 at home this year. Several matches as of late. In fact, if this score holds for halftime in their last 3 matches, they had a 1-goal lead at halftime in all 3 of those matches, both home and road.
And that'll come up in the locker room.
Braun goes to the turf and draws the foul. And Soony Saad is angling towards the ball, 40 yards from goal.
Hey, you may have to play him in 5 yards here. But I'll tell you, that goal last broadcast, that thing probably could have gone another 10 yards.
Iose and Suni having a discussion as we speak. Iose may just be saying, hey, can you give me an assist if I leave it for you like this? 3-man wall. Iose setting up secondary players behind it. Suni Saad doesn't get through. Throw in here for the Indy 11. Time is of the essence. It'll have to be quick.
I don't know why you're stalling here. You've probably got, you know, enough time to have a good attack without really the time for a counter.
Braun. Gallagher will try to track this down. And that will be the end of half number 1. The Indy 11 pounced on a turnover, and Matt Watson cashed in for his first Indy 11 goal. And for a third consecutive match, that gives the Indy 11 a 1-0 lead at halftime.
Tell you what, I like the way a little different feel to this one, though. I think the 11 have been quicker in transition, more dangerous in transition. I like that. I think, you know, you got Samuel, who's the home run piece they're going for.
Halftime show comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. Welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium. The Indy 11 looking for a first win since May 5th. That would also go for a first home win since that time as well. Staked an only 1-goal lead against Atlanta United 2. Alongside Brad Hunter, Greg Rakestraw, thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. A quick thought on the opening 45 minutes.
I like the way that the 11 are moving the ball. I think it creates some problems, especially for a young team, in handling the switches and the adjustments on the back line. 3
goals the last time the Indy 11 were at home against the Charleston Battery. Bad news is the Battery had 3 as well, but the goals the Indy 11 had were largely spectacular. We're going to see at least one of them again as we now focus on the goals of the week for USL Week of the Season, number 12.
Games this season. They'll score again if they want to get a point out of this one. Allen at the top of the 18. Quick shot. Oh, what a goal! Sensational! That's their DNA. This is Nashville SC.
We've seen Cooper on the left, and now we've seen Camden Fay on the left. Just having
Johnson!
3 coaches in 3 years. The fans will start to get a little bit restless.
Chance now from long range. It's a hit for Phoenix in the 6th minute of play. An absolute missile from Cortez.
Don't have them separate.
There's the lead by Ring, the bomb by Saad. We tried to warn you. Soon Saad
Spins twice around Khalid Street, finds Johnson. Johnson shooting, he puts it in. Jason Johnson makes it 3 for Phoenix.
So there is a look at the action on the field in the USL, but how about a look at things behind the scenes, especially from the league-wide television product?
We came here with a unique challenge, and that was to solve the problem of producing over 500 games and do so in a cost-effective way for the clubs, in a way that produced high-quality broadcasts and standardize the look and feel of all of those productions. Outside of the live event, the match experience, outside of that, the broadcast is the window into the brand for the club and for the league. You need to be able to capture that in a compelling way with a quality broadcast.
A large portion of the teams work with our partner Vista on REMI Productions, remote integration. What that means is that the production of the game is actually handled mostly away from site. So the way these games work is a truck will show up locally at the stadium. There'll be 4 camera operators there, and those signals are sent all the way here to Fort Lauderdale. And here locally at Vista, the game is cut. The game has graphics put on top of it. Replay is done here, and in many cases, the play-by-play is actually done on site here at Vista as well. So after the game is fully produced, we have a signal that goes to our partner ESPN Plus for US distribution. We have a signal that goes to YouTube for international distribution. And then for the teams that have an over-the-air local broadcast regional sports network deal, the signal is sent to their partners as well. So even for the games that aren't done with a REMI production, all games flow through Vista, and all those signals have to get sent out all over the world to reach the fans of USL. Because of those REMI productions, we'll oftentimes have 5 or 6 games going on at one time. Nobody is doing sports REMI productions on this level consistently.
We have built one of the largest REMI production models of any league in the world. And now we're able to deliver anywhere in the world to our partners at ESPN, fully produced matches from all over the country. We couldn't be more thrilled with the progress we've made and some of the innovative things now we're going to be able to start to bring into the broadcast moving forward.
Back here at Lucas Oil Stadium, and as much as Brad and I enjoy Fort Lauderdale, we are here in Lucas Oil Stadium. 1-0. The Indy 11 have the advantage at halftime against tonight's opponent in Atlanta United 2. The Indy 11 entered play tonight 8 points back of FC Cincinnati, standing atop the Eastern Conference. Let's show you those standings now. We have generally featured the teams that's in the upper half of the Eastern Conference standings in spots 1 through 8. Indy 11 aren't there right now, but again, it is so early in the season. This is just the 12th match of the campaign for the Indy 11. We flip to page 2 to show you where the Indy 11 are right now in the Eastern Conference, currently in 10th. But again, there's a lot of ground left to cover. And frankly, you're playing the teams that are 15th and 16th in each of the next 2 weeks. The team that is in 13th is the team that comes here in 3 weeks. This is a month you got to take advantage of if you're the Indy 11.
A good chance to get confidence back, to pull some points and start climbing back into the top of the table.
So what does that mean as far as the matches that are taking place tonight? Let's look at those right now. Brought to us on our out-of-town scoreboard by the Crown Plaza Indianapolis downtown. Let them assist you with your next meeting or event. Eastern Conference leading FC Cincinnati, already a goal to the good in Cary against North Carolina FC. Couple of the next opponents playing. Toronto FC 2 has a lead over Penn FC at halftime as well. One result that has gone full time. Louisville City gets a point to catch up temporarily with FC Cincinnati. But if the Cincinnati score holds, they will then fall 3 points clear of Louisville City FC. There you go, a look around the Eastern Conference in the USL. Again, that's presented by our friends at the Crown Plaza, Indianapolis downtown. Back with more from halftime at Lucas Oil Stadium in a matter of moments. The Indy 11 a one-goal lead on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. Indy 11 with a one-goal lead against Atlanta United 2. The second half just a couple of minutes away from starting. And once again, I wouldn't say exactly high atop Lucas Oil Stadium, but a little further distance from the pitch than we used to be at our old location, alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. I wouldn't say the first half was dominated by the Indy 11, but as we look at our highlights, frankly, the threatening scoring opportunities and certainly the goal all belong on the Indy 11 side of the ledger.
Yeah, the one thing that the 11 have to stay away from is getting Yosef Samuel free. They're looking to hit the ball over the top, and this kid's dynamic.
First 10 or 11 minutes, largely possession in favor of Atlanta United too, but after that, the opportunity started to flow for the Indy 11.
Yeah, they were attacking the wings. They had some opportunities in transition. They were able to find some seams through the center of the field, and then they capitalized on the turnover.
Opportunity here. Soony Saad was onside, but the pass could not slot through to him. A good-looking cross here, and again, an opportunity that Soony, I'm sure, would like to have back. But the combination play was working well for the Indy 11 tonight.
It really was. They were, instead of taking that extra touch and getting right up on top of that primary defender, they're serving that ball in and behind before the pressure comes.
And here's the read by Watson, and again, took his time and casually slides it home with the left foot.
What a clever finish. It's right in here with the defender closing. I think it's going to be a toe poke. And then it looked like he was going to turn the other way and try and knock it across to Braun, but the way the defender pressed him and went down, he just turned and said, I'll take it myself.
His first Indy 11 goal. Look at our match stats so far in this one. No shots on target yet for Atlanta United, and a 7-2 advantage in total shots taken.
And I think that speaks to kind of how this game is going. I think with the home run ball, trying to find the pocket in behind Indy 11's back line isn't working that well right now. It only takes one to get it free, but if they can bring in Carranza and Gallagher to accompany Samuel up there, they can have some sustained opportunities up in the attacking third.
So the Indy 11 back on the pitch. Atlanta United 2 has yet to return from the locker room. And Martin Rennie is making his way to our pitch side at location for our halftime conversation. Our conversation with Coach Rennie is brought to us by our friends at Turkish Airlines, the official international airline of Indy 11 soccer. Turkish Airlines, widen your world. Atlanta United 2 now making their way back onto the pitch to get ready for half number 2 as well. 2 substitutions left for Atlanta United, a full 3 for the Indy 11. Coach Rennie is with us now. Martin, your thoughts on the opening 45 minutes of play?
I think it was a solid first half from us. I thought we defended well. I thought we were on top quite a lot after the first 10 minutes. I thought we created some good chances, and it was an excellent goal that we scored. So I think it was a solid first half.
What was your message to your guys at halftime, Coach?
I want to make sure that we keep doing those things. I don't want us to get stretched out. I want us to use the ball well, maybe look for the switch of play a little bit more.
Martin, thanks for the time. We'll talk to you after the match.
Okay, thanks.
Head coach Martin Rennie of the Indy 11. And again, our halftime interview presented by Turkish Airlines, widen your world. Brad Keys to the opening moments of half number 2.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Atlanta responds. You know, are they going to press a little bit higher up the field? Are they going to send more bodies forward? But when you look at them philosophically, they are a preparation and developmental club for the first team. And while they're all competitors, it's less about the results and the development of the players within the system of the parent club. So, you know, do they play very similarly to how they did in the first half to keep that philosophy ingrained in them, or are we going to be able to see some changes that maybe put them in position to equalize?
Teams, of course, will switch ends for half number 2. And all that means is that Paul Christensen will have the Brickyard Battalion in his ear for the next 45 minutes. We are playing in the great indoors, and because of the somewhat unpredictable weather forecast for tonight, the decision was made to leave the roof closed this evening. This is the 4th time in 7 matches that we have played with the roof closed here at Lucas Oil Stadium.
You talked about Christensen being in front of the Brickyard Battalion, and even a young keeper knows you're going to hear some funny stuff. Try not to react. Try not to get distracted. But we have there's a pretty clever supporters group here.
The issues with allowing goals, as in multiples of them, have been a second half phenomenon for the Indy 11 as Samuel whistled for the foul. In the last 4 games the Indy 11 have played, including the U.S. Open Cup loss in Mississippi, the Indy 11 have allowed 10 goals. All of them have come in the second half.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, none of them are world-class, you know, goals that are unpreventable. A lot of them are self-inflicted. You know, lack of attention to detail, a mistouch, mishandled ball.
Mattern nicely slides it back to Ioze. Slips it through for Watson. Watson looking for Sooney Saad. Fantastic build-up by the Indy 11. It will be a corner for the Indy 11. It's an impressive start. First offensive touches of the half.
I tell you, I like what Matt Watson's bringing, you know, not just stability and being that shield and that screen in front of, you know, the back line, but he's so dynamic in getting forward, and his pace is something that is causing some problems for Atlanta.
Venegas again will take the corner. Well, headed towards the top of the 18 by Atlanta United 2. Watson with the settle. Ouimet couldn't get a boot to it. And with some defenders playing forward, Atlanta will try to restart quickly. Well shepherded by Mattern just to knock it sideways and give his teammates time to recover. Laurent Kissadou told to back up just a bit. Saw Nick Law on the throw-in. He was the player that had to be subbed in for the injured captain in Jack Metcalf for Atlanta. Sooney Saad splits 2 defenders. Sooney Saad settles. Cochran got a leg in the way.
What a ball.
Great hustle by Atlanta to not just give the throw-in. Guerra trying to work his way forward. Taken away by Atlanta United 2. Opportunity here for Gallagher. Could not slide it past Mitchell. Samuel was the target. Braun surrounded by 3 white kits. And Moses has been a bull in a china shop this evening as he knocks a player to the turf.
Love the energy. He's just got to rein it in a little bit. He's making the right read on when to press and where to press. He's just coming in a little bit too aggressive, and you know, it's giving Atlanta a chance to kind of take the breath and reset things.
Fantastic pass by Watson to spring SUNY Sod. You tend at times to focus on just the guy that scored the goal, but I would tell you that Watson's play, even if you took away his goal, you would say he'd be maybe the most impressive player of the match so far for the Indy 11.
100% agree. I don't know why you want to take away his goal, though. Just
I don't know. I'd rather not. I want him to keep it. He gets a brick out of it from the Brickyard Battalion.
They give anything for an assist? Like maybe some mortar or something?
Just a pat on the back and attaboy. Good job. That'll be a foul against Braun.
And that's one thing you'd like to see the 11 stay away from, is getting too cute and tight spaces that allows a team with the pace and the individual technical ability that Atlanta's got to get out on the break.
Kendall Moulin, the player that was affected, or excuse me, that was Gosselin. My apologies. Gosselin maybe had the best chance on goal we have seen so far on the set piece from about 30 yards out towards the end of the first half for Atlanta United 2. They have not scored a goal in their last 2 matches. Their last score came against Louisville City FC on May 19th.
I'll tell you, they used Kissadu as a decoy down the right. I kind of liked that ball.
Cochran. And it'll be a goal kick for Owain Fawn Williams. 5 times this year, Atlanta United 2 have been blanked. And of their 14 goals this season, 5 came in 1 game against Toronto FC 2. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Simply follow @USL on Twitter. Mention the fact that a 0 has been on the board at the end of the game 5 times for Atlanta United. Owain Fawn Williams, 5 clean sheets of his own right this season. Has not had one, though, since the draw with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the Steel City on May the 11th. Well done by Guerra. Now Mattern. Ioze able to recover from a pass that had too much on it. SUNY Sod. Back to Mattern. And Nico walks the tightrope, earns a throw in for Indy. Simply put, this team has been better when Mattern has been on the field this season.
He has, yeah.
He says his friends and family watch via the YouTube feed in Germany, where right now it'd be about 2 in the morning.
Yeah, but if that's your kid playing,
you're wide awake, huh?
I'll tell you, 2 in the morning yesterday, I was rewatching the game 4.
Venegas.
Good
Deftly
move.
done. Venegas.
Clever ball. You talked about it in the first 5 minutes, that we're going to likely see the best of Venegas tonight. A little Nostradamus stuff tonight, Rick.
I am both a sayer of suits and a sayer of SUNY Sod strikes. I'm a sayer of a lot of things, as you well know. This portion of the match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, keeping athletes at the top of their game. Visit ecommunity.com/sports. Mattern, the slide for Sod, plays it forward. Cochran was shielding Guerra from the ball. Braun was doing his best to try to slide in there as well. Couldn't get it done. But the buildup has been solid, if not spectacular, here open the second half for the Indy 11.
It's clever, it's creative. It's just got to complete that last bit and finish it.
Ouimet will head it back to Fawn Williams. Back to the other end quickly.
Here's what I like about that direct play. Samuel is so talented. He just needs one of them. Here's what I don't like about it. You've got Gallagher, Carranza, and Kissadu, who are really talented players playing underneath, and you bypass and you take touches away from them. when you do that.
Here's Gallagher. Good job by Moses to track back. And now launch the counter the other direction. Turn quickly recognizing Carranza was there to apply pressure. Room to roam for Ioze. His first new team in 6 years for Ioze.
Good look.
Venegas. Guerra. Plays the cross that deflects off a Atlanta player for a corner coming for the Indy 11. And Ioze will go to the opposite side with the left foot and send it in.
The build-up's been great. And once it gets into the 18, it's like there's one more touch that's being taken instead of either the serve or the shot. I love creative, attractive soccer. Sometimes you just got to get in there and hit it right.
Saad was the target, and if Kendall Moulin doesn't head it over the bar, Saad was in on goal. Kendall Moulin, native of Minnesota, spent last year playing in San Antonio. Braun.
Good ball.
And again, a corner coming. I would love to see Justin get his long-awaited first goal of the season.
He's put he's dropped the ball twice right into that same front pocket on the front post.
Will the third time be the charm? It is for the Indy 11. Carlisle Mitchell. It is first goal night for the Indy 11. 2-0 in favor of the home team.
It's just like it's a little screen pass, you draw him forward, you knock it back post.
Spatial awareness, the awareness of patterns. It's like he's done this for a while, meaning Ioze.
It sure felt like it.
Use one of my favorite quotes from basketball. He knows the geometry of the game. It applies to Ioze. Perfectly weighted ball.
But look at the volume of players. Look at the volume of Atlanta players in the front post after Ioze dropped 2 balls into that front post and how that opens up the back post. It's a brilliant, whether it's designed by strategy or whether it's just one of those things that they all read in the moment, that's a great play.
Soccer IQ on full display of Ioze. Give him the assist. Mitchell the goal. In the Indy 11. A 2-goal lead. And a goal kick coming for Owain Von Williams. This portion of the match presented in part by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Native of Trinidad and Tobago. He and Nathan Lewis going to be the first players from that country to play for the Indy 11. Atlanta United, too, has given up 4 goals on 3 different occasions this season. So there could be more in the offing for the Indy 11. Here's Mitchell. That will be a goal kick for Christensen. The goal by Mitchell, the first goal by a defending player for the Indy 11 this year. Now, Tyler Pasher began the year as a defensive player, but when he was able to get a goal against North Carolina FC, he was playing as a midfield. That's the role he played before he got hurt. We haven't seen Tyler now in the better part of a month. You want to see your center backs get involved is on plays like that, whether it's Mitchell, Lamette, or Brad Russin. By the way, this segment of the match is presented by the Room Place. Get it all at the Room Place. Good to see we have some students from CFI 84 stopping by the booth tonight, celebrating their buddy Johnny Mallon's birthday. Good evening, guys. If this result holds, we need you back for the next home match in 3 weeks, okay? Seth Moses, good takeaway by Kisadu. Well done to get it right back by Moses. Venegas sends it in, was looking back, post for Saad. Nick Law steers it away. Watson.
How about it?
Can he give it a go? Does not get through, and it will angle for a corner kick coming, and the onslaught in the second half continues for the Indy 11.
I love what Matt Watson brings with that no fear of having to go from 20, 25, 30 yards out. That keeps a back line, and that keeps a goalkeeper completely honest and has to have them adjust.
We saw Watson not miss by much in a shot from distance in the home opener against FC Cincinnati. You know he's got that in the arsenal.
Interesting to see where this one gets placed.
Iose again. Again directly towards the back post, almost knocked it in. Almost had an Olympico there from Iose. Headed down, Christensen got it. Braun with the head-on goal. It is a continued attack, though, from the Indy 11 in the first 15 minutes of the second half.
If you're with the 11, you got to feel good right now. It feels like everything is clicking.
Good job by Mattern. And eventually a throw-in coming, and it will remain in possession of Atlanta United 2. Fans, you can watch highlights from every game of the 2018 USL season and bonus content from around the league by subscribing to the league's official YouTube channel at youtube.com/USL. Mattern again closing out Samuel, and that will be a foul whistled against Atlanta. Nico drew the whistle, but just showing further proof.
It's just confirming you made the right call.
There may be some tailoring needed for the number 6 shorts for the next match. And we will see a familiar face to us in Indianapolis from a year ago. He continues to lead his new league in hair, Devin Sandoval. He and Kenny Tysa provided a formidable backline forward tandem for the San Francisco Deltas a season ago. So Sandoval becomes the second substitution of this match for Atlanta, hailing from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
And so dangerous in the air.
Juan Guerra is the reason we have stopped after the substitution. As Goslin exits stage left, one further substitution available for Coach Scott Donnelly in Atlanta United 2. You see Guerra hobbling a little bit. It's been tough for him to find playing time, so I can guarantee you Juan wants to tough this out as long as he can. Throw in coming again for the Indy 11. This portion of the match presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Now Suni Saad. Job by Oliver Shannon to get in Saad's way. First time we have called Shannon's name tonight. Much like we mentioned about Metcalf earlier, he too is from Liverpool. Except Oliver played his college soccer at Clemson. Sandoval the target here. And his old teammate in Carl Lamette got in the way. It continues to be a rather casual affair for Owain Von Williams this evening.
And you look at Atlanta, and one of the things I was wondering coming out of half is they're down a goal. Are they going to change the way that they play? Now that they're down 2 goals, are they going to change the way that they play?
Looking through ball here, and it is ruled not to be touched by an Indy player. Goal kick coming.
And you can see that the philosophy from the outset is on player developments within this system, because while they've moved a couple of pieces, Sandoval's going up top for Samuel, who's going out on the outside, and you've got Kissadou, who's popped from the middle to the outside, and Gallagher's in the middle. Systemically, they haven't changed. The philosophy is exactly the same. Down a goal, even, down 2 goals.
For Sandoval, this is his 12th appearance of this, or excuse me, 10th appearance of the season. 7 of those as a substitution. Possession favoring Atlanta. Good back heel by Watson. And a real estate ball by Ouimet. In terms of defensively, they're kind of leaving Braun as a single sweeper, but then quickly moving other players up in the attack when the ball is in the attacking third.
I think the nice, especially with a 2-goal lead, the nice luxury that you have is you don't have to spend the energy and chase if it's a half ball. If Justin can get a touch on it, if he can bring it down, if he can hold it for a bit, then you can support it. Otherwise, you can keep your defensive shape.
Nicholas sends it in. Ouimet steers it out. Ball at the feet of Carranza. Headed away by Mitchell. It will be a corner. Still, there has not been a shot on target tonight, and Venegas goes down to the turf for the Indy 11. Venegas collided with Kissadou. That's the reason he is down. And if Venegas can't go the distance, you would expect to see Brad Ring likely get the nod at the right back position for Indy. Venegas will hobble over towards the corner to prevent the short corner.
If they get one, if Atlanta can pull one back here, it becomes a ball game again. It swings the momentum.
All the way to the other side of the 18. Gallagher sends it in. And Soony Saad contents to play that ball back to midfield.
In Gallagher, while he's not had many dangerous touches here today, he's a guy that you really have to keep your eyes on. 13 shots he's taken, 5 goals. Are you kidding me? That's an incredible finishing rate. He's only put 7 on goal, and 5 of the 7 have gone in, so you just can't give the kid a look.
Moses continues to be a pest, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. He brings a level of physicality to the midfield the Indy 11 have not had this year. Not really a holding mid, but built like a defender playing a midfielder's role.
I think the energy's been good. I think, he's feeling his way into the game.
Venegas. Good follow up by Moses. 50-50 ball that saw Moses go to the turf.
I love the fight in the kid. I mean, he chases down everything.
Watson looking back, post for Braun. Braun will track it down and keep it in play. Guerra. Just couldn't slide his way through. But the connectivity of this team tonight, to me, it's been as good as we have seen all year.
It's been great. I mean, and when you look at, maybe it's the fact that they did have all this prep time. Maybe it's the fact that they got healthy bodies back. But the rhythm, understanding who is where, who's got more pace than who, where I can put that ball, how, what foot do I need to play it to? A lot of that stuff has been so in sync tonight, and we haven't seen it over the last month.
$15 goals for Justin Braun in his 2 previous seasons with the Indy 11. And that'll be a foul on Sandoval playing through Iose. Those 2 players played in the NASL championship game last year. Iose for the New York Cosmos. Sandoval for the San Francisco Deltas.
What a touch.
Saad couldn't get it through to Braun. Good recovery by Guerra. And Saad.
Uh-oh.
I think he's drawn the right to go out at about 32 yards out. This is officially SUNY side range.
Yeah, if you've watched film, you may want to put a 15-man wall up right now.
We asked him on Soccer Saturday this week, all right, why the first name or the nickname on the back of the jersey? He goes, I wanted to go Brazilian. He said he'd been asking to do that in MLS for a while. They wouldn't let him do it. In this league, no problem. Hence the first name. Again, not his given first name. That is his father's nickname for him, which has kind of become his first name. He's had a couple of strikes worthy of first name only status as SUNY.
And look, you've got Ayoze and SUNY on the ball, both using each other as decoys, and you know everybody in the league has seen both of them hit the ball from these positions.
It's SUNY. It's saved by Christensen. Did a good job of steering that away from the goal frame too. Harris Plask couldn't get through. Carranza got in the way. Mattern will play it back to safety. Watson flicks it forward for Moses. Great job to keep that ball in play by Moses. Moses with the run going. Still 20-plus minutes of soccer left to go, but so far, this is the best effort of the season from start to finish for the Indy 11. Watson timed it. Can Braun get there? Takes the deflection. Watson settles, tries to find Braun.
Oh.
I'm not sure how that didn't get through to him.
Tell you what, I thought he was going to pull the trigger here. Maybe take a touch and pull the trigger.
Sometimes you can be a great teammate by taking the shot instead of playing the ball to a teammate.
Yeah, we haven't seen this year. The 11 can do whatever they want at this point.
I believe we're going to see Eugene Starikoff for the first time in a while for the Indy 11.
I think that's a good move.
And that's not indicative of anybody doing anything wrong on the field. You need to get him some match minutes, since he has not played since the early stages of the season due to injury. You can download the official Indy 11 app now to be the first to receive breaking team news and highlights available on the app stores for Apple and Android devices. Long distance ball for Sandoval. Ayoze there to settle. Niklaus sends it in. Sandoval tried to line it up and then inadvertently ends up taking down Ouimet. Again, no card there, but did take him down as he was going for the bicycle and couldn't time it out. There you see Eugene Starikoff. Appeared in the first two matches for the Indy 11, has not played since. Eugene is from the Ukraine, but has spent a lot of time here in the States. Really kind of became a factor from mid-season on last year for the Cosmos.
I remember his trips to Indy. I tell you, he has got a cannon of a right foot.
And Justin Braun will exit. So first Indy 11 sub. Is Braun about to head off? I'm not sure Justin was thrilled about leaving, but again, this is just trying to make sure that Starikoff gets some needed time.
You know, for a guy like Braun, who's fought his way back and is trying to get back into form, and this game is opening up right now, there's a goal still left out there, and you know, not just for confidence, but for rhythm, but for all the hard work he's put in, and he wants it. I think we all want it for him, too.
Frankly, given how this group has played and knowing the next match isn't for another 7 days, I'd be almost stunned if this group didn't start again next Saturday. And also of note, especially at that striker position, that forward position, Jack McInerney will miss next week's match too.
I don't know if you saw that ball by Nico right there. If that was intentional, that is a ridiculous play.
Tell me why.
The ball's coming into him. He's got a defender closing him down. He has a passing option behind him, and in one touch, he's able to flick that ball behind him. It's not an easy ball to handle, and he's under pressure.
Guerra. Defender slips. He's got some space. And draws
there you go.
The contact.
Okay, what do? Do you dial up Suni again? Do you give Ioze this? We're not far off of where he scored the goal against the Battery.
You've got a variety of options here, to say the least. Safe to say that both Guerra and Moses, though, have made the most of their opportunity for more playing time tonight.
Been great. Been great. And this restart right here, you know, while it won't lead to a statistical assist. Whatever happens from this comes off of just a sweet little touched ball that Ioze dropped in.
It's Saad. And he draws the deflection. It is a corner. This portion of the match presented by Turkish Airlines. Widen your world. As the Indy 11 try to widen their lead to 3. Both Saad and Ioze leading the Indy 11 with 4 goals on the season. But first-timers in Carlisle Mitchell and Matt Watson have accounted for the scoring for the Indy 11 tonight. It's Venegas. And his teammates looking on.
Good
Headed
serve.
down. Mitchell was looking for the brace. For standing stats, all the latest league news, be sure to visit uslsoccer.com. And that's going to be a foul against Nico Mattern. Missed the last match because of 2 reds picked up, or 2 yellow cards, I should say, that led to a red card in quick fashion against the Red Bulls in a loss on May 27th. Fresh legs of Starikov applying some pressure. After missing the better part of 2.5 months, his heart's got to be racing out there right now. Good looking ball here. Mitchell cuts it off from Sandoval.
It's pretty impressive composure.
I was going to say. There was some circumnavigation going on from Nico Mattern there for a while.
Great ball.
Lamette. Good closing speed. And Samuel might be at the end of his.
Out of gas right there, because that's a ball that I thought when it left Gallagher's foot that he was going to be able to get a touch on it.
And Owain Von Williams' activity level tonight has been consistent of this. Go track the ball down, set it up on the 6. Think about the meaning of life. Pick out a player.
I can't think of an opportunity that he's had to navigate. It's more decision, communication, positioning.
Venegas stumbled for a moment, able to recover. Lamette finding Suni Saad. Starikov and Watson providing runs. Ioze in support. It's Suni. Carranza grabbed by Guerra, and that will be a card. First yellow of the match, and That is the definition of a professional foul right there. Take the card, prevent the scoring opportunity.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do right now is be so anxious to get that third one that you allow a ball in transition to get them back into the game and give them some life. So take the yellow before you get to midfield, get yourself set up, and just deny any kind of quick opportunity.
And immediately the recognition by Garrett saying, yep, right call, no problem with that. Jack McInerney missing this match for yellow accumulation. The other player that's sitting on 4 for the Indy 11 now is Iose, so that is clearly worth watching going forward. This is Iose's 10th match of the season. Samuel with the left foot, and Fawn Williams makes his first save of the night. Always good when you do that in the 79th minute.
I'll tell you, but the scary part is, as a goalkeeper, is, Grant, from halftime now, you've been here for a half an hour without really having to exert yourself physically. It's all been mental communication, pulling strings, moving pieces that you don't doubt it because you've done it, a million times in your life. But it's like, okay, let's crank up the old bones, see if I can make it.
We've got contact there and a player coming up a bit lame for Atlanta United too. That is Hernandez. He and Moses collided. And the third and final substitution of the match about to enter for Atlanta United too. This is Kevin Barajas. Barajas played collegiately at the University of Kentucky, but as a hometown kid is from Atlanta. And as we suspected, Joseph Samuel was pretty much on E the last few minutes.
Yeah, I think Coach Donnelly saw the same thing. If we're going to have a chance to get back in this, we got to have some legs that can chase down a ball like that.
Barajas has played 11 minutes all season. He'll play the final 11 minutes of this game for Atlanta United too. Their substitutions have been spent at this point. Indy still has 2 if necessary. Carranza sends it in. Sandoval looking to get inside position.
Good ball into the right guy, your target forward, who's good in the air and with his feet. And we met, having trained with him for the last 10 months, knows him pretty well.
That'll be a foul against Eugene Starikov. Want to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL? Be sure to follow the league's official Instagram account at USL Soccer. It's the 3rd match of the season for Starikov. He and Reiner Ferreira have both been out since the end of March. Maybe a week or so ago, the hope was that perhaps Tyler Pasher could play tonight, but not ready yet.
Well, the fact that you could get through another week would give him a little bit more time to heal or get match fit.
And that's a foul. Whistled against Gallagher. Still think Ferreira's a little ways away.
That was such a bad injury. I mean, he was rolling it at the same time he was getting stepped on. That's not a quick fix.
Starikov remains on side. I'll turn the lead for Iose. The flick forward for Suni Saad. Wow. Saad walking the tightrope. Kind of grabbing that hamstring a little bit, so that's worth noting. He goes to the ground right now. Nick Law plays it forward for Sandoval, and Iose now will play it back to Fawn Williams, and now we will have a stoppage in play.
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, you hope it's just a cramp.
Players available for substitution for the Indy 11. We've been looking from a forward or midfield variety. Steinberger already set to come in for Juan Guerra. So you would think maybe Ben Spies would be the other that could be entering soon for Suni Saad. So the former member of the Butler Bulldogs, now in his second stint with the Indy 11, Zach Steinberger is set to enter. As Guerra will exit, Steinberger waved on. Ryan Gerlach with Suni Saad escorting him towards the bench. Temporarily, the Indy 11 will play a man down.
Substitution.
Steinberger got his first Indy 11 goal of the season. Not in the last home match, but the one before that against Bethlehem Steel back on May 19th. Von Williams now back to live action, going to draw Sandoval in and then pick up the loose change. Braden is Indy 11's preferred technology and office equipment provider. BradenOnline.com for more information. Braden technology that drives your business.
Good recovery.
By the way, Saad is back on the field and a foul whistle. And every foul at this point is a few more seconds you can take off the clock for the Indy 11. So he spent 5 of the last 7 years with Sporting Kansas City. We're playing for their USL affiliate, the Swope Park Rangers. Swope Park, the Western Conference champions last year. Following Louisville City FC 1-0 in the USL Cup match at Slugger Field. That came back in November. Well, the opportunities have not been as plentiful for the Indy 11 in the last 15-20 minutes. Frankly, they haven't had to be.
I think by design the game's become a little bit choppy with trying to drag out restarts and some fouls and cramps and injuries, that it hasn't had the flow that it did during that kind of frenetic 15-minute pocket there where the 11 were all over Atlanta.
Indy looking for their 6th clean sheet of the season. Just their 2nd at home. The other was the last victory against Louisville City FC, 1-0. Starikoff off to the races. Christensen off his line. Plays it rather calmly over to his teammate in Cochran. Now Watson. Knocked off the ball by Kisadu. Venegas goes to the turf. We play on. Moses, well done. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of today's match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Now Moses, a little slow to get up off the turf. The spot where you're playing a man down if you're the Indy 11. They'll leave him on for now. Taking this inside of the 18. Carranza. Now Gallagher. Gallagher trying to set up an angle on goal, and that was deflected. Corner coming.
He did have a look at that back window.
Gallagher, their leading goal scorer with 5.
This is where you really got to keep an eye on Sandoval. He's so dangerous in the air.
And he is parked right behind Owain Von Williams. Just outside of the 6. Watson got there first. Well done by Watson. He's got Saad to his right. But at this point, just content to take this ball down the sideline. Draws a couple of defenders, and Gallagher takes it back away. but does so some 75 yards down the field.
I tell you, that is an impressive 75-yard sprint from Gallagher. You know, he misjudged trying to. I think he thought he didn't have the double team behind him because he was just going to try and shield his defender off the ball. Watson came around and picked him. And to the kids' credit, a 75-yard sprint to win possession back again.
Mitchell content just to boot this ball back towards his own bench.
That kind of stuff endears you to your coach.
Well, Watson's effort certainly has been deserving of the captain's armband tonight. And he began the season wearing the captain's armband for the first time in his career. And let's point out this is his 14th professional season. Starikoff is just a bit offside. And did the sporting thing by not knocking that ball towards the back of the goal.
But gave it a little nudge.
But I think if he sends that towards the goal, there's a yellow involved. No need for that. By the way, we are told 3 added minutes at the end of this half, at the end of this match.
Clever turn.
Kissadoo gives it a rip, but Von Williams can watch it slide by.
Officials already warning him not to drag this out. And then, you know, to his credit, he's been on that since the first half when the 11 were up 1-0. He's been making sure that, you know, they don't milk it too much.
By the way, over 10,000 fans this evening here at Lucas Oil Stadium.
It does look like a good crowd.
See everybody back here in 3 weeks when the Indy 11 play host to Penn FC. It'll be great to see former member of the Indy 11, Marco Franco, back playing against his old club for the first time.
That's where Heineman is, right?
Correct.
Won't be good to see him back.
Steinberger puts it behind Starikoff. He had sort of had the other direction. Indy 11 will play against Toronto FC2 in Rochester, New York next Saturday. Then they are off again for 10 days. A Tuesday night game against Nashville SC. Before then they turn around and come home for a match some 4 days later. By the way, congratulations Nashville, Dayton, Louisville, and Sacramento. The 3 teams from the USL still playing in the Open Cup. Nashville and Louisville will play against each other in the next round.
I didn't see the Nashville goals. I did see the Louisville goals. Holy cow. What a game that was.
Victory over the New England Revolution. Of course, we in Indianapolis enjoy anybody that beats New England in anything. Even with another one of our rivals in Louisville. Met. Good job of knocking that ball away from Gallagher again, just trying to hold up play as best he can. Still a sub available if needed for Martin Rennie.
Just a little too much there. It might be just a decision from youth that, you know, once the 11 get 10 guys behind the ball, you know, you're not going to be able to play that little ticky-tack touch game in the box.
And speaking of that final sub, good to see Ben Speeds. Seth Moses will take his dear old sweet time and exiting the pitch. Well done by Seth in his first start of the year.
Good minutes, good energy.
Spees enters the fray for Indy, his second year at the club. Former member of both the Columbus Crew and Minnesota United, an Ohio native. Berger, Spies, and Starikoff, the three sets of fresh legs on the field. Together for the Indy 11. Steinberger laying that ball across. Spies content to send this one towards a couple of fans to kill a little more time off.
Well, I tell you, you can see the talent on this team.
Saad couldn't get there in time. Mitchell got ahead to it first. Iose got a boot to it. That's good enough. Throw in coming. But we are in the waning moments of this one.
Yeah, you'd love to get that clean sheet here. Give that back line some confidence after some of the goals that have been given up. Make sure you validate Owine's one save.
First full 3 points for the Indy 11 in 5 weeks. And with that play by Fawn Williams, that should about end the scoring opportunities in this one. Let's make sure he is all right.
Good job being aggressive coming off your line. Sometimes in a game like this, you can be lulled to sleep, and he was ready in the one moment he had to be tested.
That's not the way to end the match. Sandoval is as powerful of a player as you will see at this level of soccer. Just in the scuffle for the loose ball.
Yeah. Looked like the foot went right down, kind of down the head, face, into the chest.
Basically, I think one more touch of this one and we're done. Leave the turf pellets on there for dramatic effect.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's that. 3 points and a clean sheet for the Indy 11. And first Indy 11 goals for Matt Watson and Carlisle Mitchell. All in all, as thorough and as dominant of a performance as we have seen from the Indy 11 this season.
A fantastic effort, top to bottom.
18 points for the season now for the Indy 11. Their third home victory. One against Nashville SC, one against Louisville City FC, and now one against Atlanta United 2. And a further chance to climb the table against a Toronto FC 2 side that has been struggling. In fact, only has 2 points so far in the season entering this weekend. But first things first, you can enjoy this one. And we'll wrap it up when we come back. The Indy 11, a 2-0 win against Atlanta United 2. Final thoughts for the game broadcast next on My Indy TV. Carlisle Mitchell making the ceremonial walk through the Brickyard Battalion. That is done win or lose, and it's always more fun to do when you win and when you score your first Indy 11 goal. We will talk to both goal scorers. In fact, both gentlemen you see on your screen, the winning head coach in Martin Rennie and Captain Matt Watson, as part of our Central Indiana Honda Dealers postgame show. Brad, a pair of goals for the Indy 11, one in each half. Watson got it with an interception via a great read, and Carlisle via tremendous service from Iose.
Got two veteran goals. You take a look at the read from Matt Watson, and then not just reading the turnover, but then reading the goalkeeper and the defender and having the presence to go right to goal here.
It was 1-0 at halftime. It was 2-0 soon after. Third successive corner, third pass went to a different spot, and Mitchell sends it to the back of the net.
That's what I love about it. You got two veterans that are likely on the same page without having to communicate. Two balls dropped to the front post. Carlisle Mitchell makes the run to the back post. Iose drops it right onto his head.
The fans head home happy from Lucas Oil Stadium tonight, but we're not done with our broadcast yet. You will hear from Martin Rennie, Matt Watson, Carlisle Mitchell, and of course, Brad Hodder. 6th clean sheet of the season for the Indy 11 and Owain Von Williams. And for the first time in 5 weeks, the full 3 points. Post-game show comes your way next.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
The full 3 points after a full 90-minute performance from the Indy 11 this evening as they drop Atlanta United to by a score of 2-0. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you on the Central Indiana Honda Dealers postgame show. Let's get right to the field. First time Indy 11 goal scorer Carlisle Mitchell is joining us now on the postgame show. Carlisle, congratulations on the win. Your thoughts about the job you and your teammates did tonight?
First of all, we deserve this win because, we've been on not a losing streak, but we haven't won like in 6 games. I think the guys fought hard for this victory, and we're just looking forward to the next game.
What did it mean for you and your teammates to have 10 days between matches, a couple of days off last weekend, but to have really a full training week for the first time in a while? Just what sort of role did that play in tonight's match?
Well, the 10 days was good for us because we can check ourselves, because as I said, we played 6 games without any wins, and I think the 10 days did us good for us to refocus and come to play this game.
Walk me through the goal. You take a look at Iose dropping 2 balls on the near post that were both dangerous balls. Was it by design that you were going to the back post? initially, or did you just realize that Atlanta was going to overload the front side?
No, well, we work on this in training. You know, guys have certain zones to attack, and that was my zone, so I attacked that zone, and the ball was there, and I scored.
A little bit about the return of Matt Watson, what kind of stability he brings. You know, he's that screen in front of you. He's providing a little bit of cover with him and Nico Mattern back. What does that bring to you guys on the back?
The return of Matt Watson gave us a bit of energy in there because he's a leader, our captain. So we missed him for the past few games when he wasn't there. So when he returned, you know, gave us a boost in the midfield.
Carlisle, we'll let you go, buddy. Thanks for the time. Congratulations on that first Indy 11 goal.
Thanks.
You got it, Carlisle Mitchell. And in fact, he was talking about Matt Watson. Literally, Matt is about ready to jump on headsets right now. He'll take him from Carlisle Mitchell. Wipe a little sweat off the headphones for him. Matt Watson puts his own version of it on there. And Matt, in fact, it appears, is momentarily ready to go. So let's go to the team captain and Matt Watson. Also a first-time goal scorer tonight. Matt, congratulations. Talk about the goal in a second. Just your thoughts about getting the full 3 points tonight.
Oh, it's huge. You know, obviously our form of recent hasn't been great, so it was important for us to make a good team effort. I think get back to basics a little bit, work on our team shape, which we did all week. And I think we saw the results today. We're a lot more organised, a lot better, and we created more chances. So that's what we want going forward.
All right, take us through from when you make the read on the pass, when you think, okay, I can get it, kind of walk us to the back of the net from there.
Yeah, I was kind of gambling that he was going to make that pass. I could kind of see the way his body was shaped, and I just, as soon as he let the ball off his foot, I just sprinted, and I just realised I could get there before the defender, and he could commit to the ball as well. So I managed to poach it before him, but I poached it a little bit too far, and I thought the goalkeeper was going to get it if I shoot, so I had to touch it one more time around the goalkeeper. There's a little bit of pressure, and I'm right-footed, and I went onto my left foot, so a lot of concentration to make sure the ball crossed the line, but it felt good.
Well, now you take a look at some of the things that you bring to this team. You know, the ability to shoot from 25, 30 yards out and really make a defense come out and press you. You were all over the field, touchline to touchline, also playmaking today. So having you back in brought not a new dynamic, but a renewed dynamic to this team. Can you talk a little bit about what it is that you see in the game that allows you to be so effective both going forward, defending, working touchline to touchline?
I think first and foremost, it's my work rate. Like, I'm captain team, and I'm not the most vocal person, but I try to lead by example. So for me, I'm going to work at 100%, do the best I can, and let the cards fall where they may. And I think sometimes that inspires the other guys. You know, if they see me making a run, hopefully they'll make the run as well and see that I'm putting in the effort. And, you know, it doesn't always work. It's not always pretty, but sometimes it's effective, as it was tonight. So hopefully just leading by example is what I bring to the field most, I think. And obviously, getting a bit of offense. Last year I played number 6, so having that little bit of extra freedom is nice because I do like running at people.
One more thing before we let you go, and obviously you kind of were reinserted in the lineup in part from an injury standpoint, but a couple of guys got, I wouldn't say their first extended looks, but first starts in a while. Juan Guerra and Seth Moses. Your thoughts about how that duo played this evening?
I thought they were fantastic. You know, again, they gave 100% from the start to the end. One thing I've said about this team all along is that it's probably the deepest team I've ever been on, and it's one that every single player, no matter where they are on the roster, could start the game. So it just shows, you know, when players who haven't been playing much step into the lineup and put performances out like that, it's great.
Matt, thanks for the time. Go enjoy the victory.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Team captain Matt Watson getting his first goal. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll talk to a happy head coach. Martin Rennie joins us next as we continue on the Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show. Copy. Copy. Yep. Handful of fans still hanging around here after the match. A 2-0 victory for the Indy 11. Also hanging around for the post-game interview is the head coach of the Indy 11, and Martin Rennie. Martin, I thought this was as complete of a 90 minutes as your team has played this season. First of all, congratulations, and just kind of your observations. It's one of the best nights of the year for your club so far.
Yeah, I think so. Performance-wise, that was about as well as we've done, and I think it all started with defending from a much more compact position. I do believe that when we have a week's training to prepare for a game, I do think it really helps us, and that would make sense because we've got so many, we've talked about before, so many guys that are just getting in that rhythm. So there's a lot of coaching that has to go on. So in weeks where we've had a week to prepare, we've done better, but not better than that. And I think you know, the work ethic, the defensive shape. But then I thought we attacked far better tonight than we ever have, and certainly in this stadium. And I think that created some good opportunities, good chances, and a solid win for us.
One of the things that I observed were the many positives to take away from tonight's match. The guys just looked a little more connected out there on the field tonight. Your thoughts about the build-up and the passing that you saw from your team out there tonight?
Yeah, well, a lot of that comes from, again, from defending properly and being in compact positions, and we worked a lot on that. And then that means that when you do win the ball back, you're in better shape to possess the ball and to create chances. And so the two things go together, and I think today we definitely did better than we have done, certainly for a while. I'm not saying we've not done some of those things before, but that's maybe the first time where we've been able to do it properly for a full 90 minutes.
You spoke about the importance of having the week of preparation. And when you looked at this last week and having the time to really get some reps for some guys, what is it that you saw in guys like Seth Moses that made you say, okay, this is the right one for him?
I just think over a period of time he's been doing well. He's been working extremely hard. You know, when he hasn't been playing, he's just continued to put in extra work, put in extra effort, continues to show up and do what we would expect him to do. And so I thought it was the right thing to give him that chance, and I really felt like he did a great job.
And the energy was great. I thought he did a fantastic job. Now, we look at Ayoze and the serves that he brings, not just in the run of play, but off of restarts. Can you speak a little bit about that and how valuable of a weapon that is for you?
Yeah, I think that our set play delivery today was the best that we've had, and we've been talking about that and working on that as well. And if the delivery doesn't give our players a chance to attack the ball, then we can't score from it. But today, I thought Kevin Venegas' delivery was good on corners, and so was Ayoze's. There was that little spell there where it was corner after corner, chance after chance, and you just felt like a goal was coming, and I think we definitely deserved that.
You talked about the week of training and how valuable it is. Whether it's a week of training or not, when you see the job that Matt Watson put on this field today, both going forward, being a playmaker, looking to finish, defending, how valuable he was. That whether you don't need a week to see him. Can you explain the difference that he made in this match today?
Well, I think everybody who was here saw just, you know, how big a difference he makes to our team. He's got so much energy, so much power, but also a lot of quality that goes with it. You know, he hadn't really even trained for 3 weeks until this week, and to go out and do that for 90 minutes and show that kind of performance, that kind of powerful run from midfield where he kept going and kept his composure to score, but continued to do that throughout the game. Really, there's not many guys can do that. It's unbelievable fitness and dedication. He's very professional. He really takes care of himself, and that showed today.
Martin, go enjoy the victory. Thanks for the time, as always.
Thank you.
Head coach Martin Rennie of the Indy 11. That'll conclude our post-match interviews, but it far from concludes our post-match show. Highlights from this 2-0 victory when we come back as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health. Dream big, work hard, finish.
Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. Community Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. By Honda, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. By Turkish Airlines, widen your world. And by The Room Place, get it all at The Room Place.
Back inside Lucas Oil Stadium. Brad Ring's always hanging out with his kids right in front of the goal. Did not appear in the match tonight, but happy about the victory for the Indy 11, as I'm sure all of you are that are still watching the Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show on My Indy TV. Again, alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Lots to be smiling about after this performance from the Indy 11 this evening. We'll get to the highlights in a matter of moments, but again, there weren't many, if any, negatives from tonight for this squad.
Yeah, and I think what is so great about this is, you talk all through May about the struggles of a really compressed schedule and not being able to train and injuries and how June will be different. And if it's not,
right
after you've built it up for a month, and it becomes crushing. So this is a great start to June, and they've got the time to prepare and build off of this, and I'm excited to see where this month winds up.
I had to have it game for the Indy 11, and that they did. Let's show you how it played out with a look at the highlights again. Took a while for the shot opportunities to get going for the Indy 11, but once they did early in the first half, they kept coming for the next 40, 50 minutes of the match.
It does, and that shot by Suni Saad and the shots from Matt Watson from deep push that defensive line up. That gives you some space to play underneath them, and that's where you can get opportunities like this.
This was not a night for the magic of Suni Saad, if you will, from a long-distance strike, but he was great at controlling touches, great at playing balls to a teammate, and here just an individual moment of brilliance on the read and the finish by Matt Watson.
Just a veteran read. You know, he talked about it. He took a gamble. He saw it. He thought he could get it. His touch was a little bit off, but his tireless work rate allowed him to still catch up to that ball.
It was a gamble, but a gamble in the right place that clearly paid off for the Indy 11. And the first 15, 20 minutes for the Indy 11 the second half was a barrage that was capped off by Carlisle Mitchell's first Indy 11 goal.
This was so great to see. I mean, it was almost set up. It was like it was scripted. You know, two balls very dangerous to the front post. Brought all of the Atlanta players over. Mitchell sneaks out backside, and Iose delivers a perfect ball.
Owain Von Williams earns the clean sheet. Didn't have all that much traffic in front of him, but when his name was called, he was up to the challenge. Some final thoughts on this when we come back as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV. Last time that the Indy 11 are at Lucas Oil Stadium for 3 weeks. They will next play host to Penn FC here on June 30th. Hopefully the good play from tonight continues over 3 weeks from now. There are 2 road matches before that, including next Saturday in Rochester against Toronto FC2. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you for a final time here on My Indy TV. A quick look around the Eastern Conference of the USL and our out-of-town scoreboard presented by Crown Plaza, Indianapolis downtown. FC Cincinnati gets the full 3 points. They stay atop the Eastern Conference standings. Richmond Kickers beating Charleston. Bit of an upset tonight, although it was in Richmond. New York Red Bulls to a winner. Toronto FC2 just 2 points so far this year. And watch that Tampa Bay Nashville matchup. Again, those are your scores from elsewhere around the Eastern Conference. So Cincinnati now 3 points clear of Louisville FC, or Louisville City FC, at the top of the Eastern Conference table. Brad, your thoughts on the way this one plays out?
You like it as a coach. You look at this and your feel from the game is there are no gaping things that we have to work on. You don't walk away from going, oh, we got to fix this. We got to.
Sure.
You walk away, say, we can polish this. We can do a little bit better here. But you really got a good feeling after this.
You walk away from this one saying, all right, the 11 guys that started tonight, we'll see you next Saturday against Toronto FC2, because, again, the level of connectedness I thought was impressive tonight.
Right, and that group now has confidence. They've played together. They've got the minutes under their belt. You've got another 70 minutes for Justin Braun. This is the group I'd love to see play next opportunity.
So the next 2 matches for the Indy 11 can be seen on ESPN Plus. Our next telecast on My Indy TV 3 weeks from tonight, when Penn FC makes their way to Lucas Oil Stadium on Saturday, June 30th. We certainly hope to see you then. For Brad Hodder and our Tupelo Raycom crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night from downtown Indianapolis on My Indy TV.